What if you could take your movie collection with you, wherever you go, and watch it on your favorite devices and brands? Sound impossible? Not anymore. Introducing UltraViolet. Here's how it works. The cloud stores your digital movies and TV shows in an online library, giving you the freedom to watch your movies and TV shows anywhere using your computers, TVs, tablets, and smartphones. UltraViolet gives you secure access to the cloud, so you can keep your personal digital movie collection at your fingertips at all times, with maximum flexibility and storage space. Now you're ready to watch your movies wherever you go, however you choose. Wherever you have an internet connection, you can instantly stream any title in your UltraViolet collection, or download a permanent copy for offline viewing on the go. You can even share your UltraViolet collection with up to 5 other members of your household. So no matter how or where you like to shop, just look for the UltraViolet logo. UltraViolet, your movies in the cloud.
Well, I'm glad that all worked out, aren't you? Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Now, I don't know how many of you remember this movie, but this was a big deal when it came out. No, not in terms of box office. This is actually kind of a bad movie. But you see that there, digital copy. Horrible Bosses was the first movie that actually used a brand new digital copy system called UltraViolet. Now, there had been digital copies that were coming with movies before Horrible Bosses came out. They would normally put it on a disc, you'd put it in the computer, and it'd say, do you want to have the file for Windows Media Player or iTunes? Most people would pick iTunes. You could only do one at a time. But UltraViolet was a new concept that many of the major studios came together and they said, you know what? Digital ownership is the thing of the future. And let's create a digital locker where people can get these codes, put them in the locker, and then they can watch them on pretty much whatever device they want. Because another thing was the old digital copies was that you were normally stuck with that computer. And with cloud computing and everything, it has been easier than ever to watch your movies on whatever device you wanted. Heck, I could watch it on the device I'm using to make this video with right now. And as it went on, it became a big enough deal that soon it was actually being advertised as a, extra copy of the movie. However, that is coming to an end. Now, I've always said one of the things that I don't like about digital copies is that they're not mine. If the service goes under or something, then who knows what happens to the movies? And people say, well, that's unlikely to happen, but you know what? Hey, it happened with Target Ticket. Target Ticket came in and said, we were going to be one of the big players, and then they got out of it and people lost their movies. I never bought a movie through Target Ticket, and the only movies I had on Target Ticket were UltraViolet movies, which thankfully were backed up on the UltraViolet digital locker account. But I'm going to have to, think of something else to do now, because according to Variety, UltraViolet is shutting down. Great, guys. So, according to this article, UltraViolet, a cloud movie locker once hailed as Hollywood's best bet to get consumers hooked on digital movies, is shuttering. The Digital Entertainment Content Ecosystem, DECE, the industry consortium that has been tasked with running UltraViolet, will shut down the service on July 31st. DECE will start to inform its users of the wind out this Thursday and is advising users to not delete their UltraViolet movie libraries. Users should instead make sure that their libraries are connected to the service of at least one retailer, which they can then use to access their movies and TV shows going forward. According to an FAQ document that is slated to be published on UltraViolet's website on Thursday morning. DECE President Wendy Ellsworth, I think that's how you pronounce it, told Variety in an exclusive interview this week that the decision to discontinue UltraViolet was a response to the evolution of the market for online entertainment. Quote, the marketplace for collecting entertainment content was very small when UltraViolet started. It was siloed into walled gardens at the time. Since then, services have become more comprehensive, giving fans of movies and TV shows more options to access and collect their titles. Ellsworth acknowledged that there has also been a move towards subscription services, but said ownership of movie and TV show collections would continue to play a significant role for the industry going forward. Quote, "It's very clear to us that it is on a very sound footing," she said. Of course, she says this while they are shuttering UltraViolet, one of the biggest digital lockers on the internet. They're shuttering up. Oh no, it's on solid footing. Great. UltraViolet launched in 2011 with the support from all the major Hollywood studios except Disney. Of course. The service also had buy-in from Lionsgate and other independent studios and struck partnerships with online retailers, including Walmart's Vudu service, Fandango Now, and some of the online services run by studios like Sony Pictures. Consumers could use UltraViolet to access digital titles purchased from one retailer. I'm sorry, the plumbing is bad right now. And codes included with DVDs and Blu-rays made it possible to unlock digital copies in addition to physical media bought in the store. Some retailers also offered consumers a chance to upconvert their existing DVD collection to HD digital media for free. Where was that? I would have taken advantage of that. I know the Vudu thing existed. I don't know if it still exists now, but they charge like $2 a movie. UltraViolet currently has more than 30 million users who collectively store more than 300 million movies and TV shows in their cloud libraries. Seems like a lot of people to just leave out in the cold. However, Disney's decision to instead develop its own cloud locker service, dubbed Disney Movies Anywhere, long represented a major roadblock for UltraViolet. Some major digital retailers, including iTunes, Amazon, and Google Play, never joined UltraViolet because of the market's fragmentation. When Disney relaunched its cloud locker service as Movies Anywhere in late 2017, opening it up to other industry players, some of the studios previously associated with UltraViolet decided to jump ship. Last year, 20th Century Fox, Universal Pictures, and Lionsgate stopped distributing their new releases as UltraViolet titles. Movies Anywhere is now being supported by most major studios and retailers. Yeah, and that's the thing. Disney, this is the problem with Disney getting too big, because whenever they're kind of almost like Amazon now. If Disney gets into the market, then everyone follows them. Like Disney owns, once especially they complete the Fox purchase, they're going to own 34% of the market. They're also going to own the majority of Hulu. They're just too big. You can't go up against them. So when they do something like this, then they're the ones who are going to eventually take over. You will never be able to compete with them. And UltraViolet had a good 8-year head start. But I digress. Still, Ellsworth didn't want the end of UltraViolet to be painted as a response to Movies Anywhere's growing momentum. The decision to end the service, quote, "doesn't really have anything to do with Movies Anywhere," she said. Ellsworth added that the future of the DECE is yet to be decided. Vudu, the biggest retailer associated with UltraViolet, was quick to assure its customers that they didn't have to fear losing their movie collections when the cloud locker service closes. Really? Because actually you do have a danger of that. And that's what the second part of this video is going to be about. Quote, "Customers who use Vudu to watch, rent, or buy movies and TV shows will not be impacted by the discontinuation of the UltraViolet platform," said Vudu Vice President Scott Blankstein. "These customers will continue to be able to enjoy Vudu content as they have been and continue to access any and all movies and TV shows they have saved in their Vudu library even after the shutdown of the UltraViolet service." Blankstein added that customers of other video platforms could always link their UltraViolet account to Vudu to access their collections through the retailer's apps going forward. So that's great, right? You just connect to Vudu and everything is saved, or another retailer. Well, sort of. Here's the problem. Let's go to UltraViolet. And there you have that whole disclaimer. UltraViolet will close on July 31st, 2019. What should you do now? Log in here and choose retailer services to verify the retailer's link to your UltraViolet library. If your library is not currently linked to a retailer, or if you would like to link additional participating retailers, select one or more of the retailers to link to your UltraViolet library. Okay, so that makes sense. Don't unlink or close your UltraViolet library, as UltraViolet and retailers will be working together to maximize your continued access to movies and TV shows. So yeah, don't unlink it. Between January 31st and July 31st, 2019, you can continue to access your UltraViolet movies and TV shows through the retailers linked to your UltraViolet library. You can continue to purchase new movies and TV shows and redeem digital codes by following the redemption instructions. Depending on the retailer, these new purchases and redemptions may or may not be added to your UltraViolet library. Such is the fickle nature of digital. Linking your UltraViolet to additional retailers can maximize your access to your library and help avoid potential disruption. After the shutdown date, your UltraViolet library will automatically close, and in the majority of cases, your movies and TV shows will remain accessible at previously linked retailers. Yeah, I love how I say that, you know, in the majority of cases, which means some of the stuff you buy, it still might go away. You can continue to make online purchases and redeem codes, but these may only be available through that retailer and will not be added to your UltraViolet library. Thank you for making UltraViolet part of how you enjoy digital entertainment. See help for more information. So let's go to retail services and see what they're talking about. Like, what are your options in all of this? Okay, so let's see here. You have Vudu, which they've talked about the most. And by the way, Vudu is by far my favorite of all these streaming services. Hold on, let me put that over there. Because they have a big selection. They do TV and movies. And they also, by the way, have 3D content, which that's a 3D TV. So I actually like 3D. Here's one of the problems, though. First of all, it is Walmart. A lot of people don't like Walmart. And also, Vudu is actually not available outside the US in some cases. Like, I don't actually know if they're in Canada. I'm pretty sure they're not in Europe. So what are your options then? Well, you have Fandango Now, which, by the way, this is available internationally. However, I am hearing that Fandango might be closing soon. Not the website, but the Fandango Now. So that's not going to help you much there. What about Kaleidoscope? Well, I've never heard of them. You have Paramount. I'm sure that only works with your Paramount videos. Or Fios. Fios, a cable company. So here's what you got to do to make the most of it. First of all, you got to sign up for a Vudu account if you can, or Fandango Now account, one of those two. So you're gonna link there. Then you're gonna go to moviesanywhere.com. And what are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna log into your account and see how you can link all these to Movies Anywhere. Well, that includes Vudu. And when you link your Vudu account and you link your other accounts like your Prime Video, your iTunes, your Google Play, your Microsoft Movies and TV, or your Fandango Now, like that's part of this too, then those movies can be put on those services. You have to unfortunately have all of these services, and that's the crazy thing. The whole idea with UltraViolet was that it was a digital locker. It was one place to go. It worked on all your devices, and yet look at how complicated it just got. Look at how complicated. And by the way, if you don't want to sign up for any of these services, if all you liked was UltraViolet, well, you better do something, because you are going to lose all your movies. Like here's the thing. Like, let's look at like my personal library and keep, you know, this is crazy. I stand to lose 383 movies. All of these movies that are apparently UltraViolet, and some of these are TV shows, but I stand to lose all of this. I stand to lose it all. Granted, I've already linked everything together, so I'm not going to lose anything. But if I didn't, all of this stuff would be pretty much in danger of going away. All of it. It's very, very scary. Now, here's the good thing. With the exception of like a couple of these movies, like for example, Big Fat Liar, that's a freebie for me. I own all of these on disc, so if this disappeared tomorrow, I would still have my precious discs so that I could watch them. And by the way, they look and sound better on disc anyway. But, I mean, just look at that. Look at all of this. I mean, you see how the collection can grow? And when the collection grows, then to get a notice one day that, hey, we're going away, you know, that's scary. You could lose all this. Thankfully, again, they haven't. Like I said, sign up for Vudu or Fandango Now, or both. Actually, I recommend just signing up for them all at this point. And then link them to Movies Anywhere, and then link your other accounts to Movies Anywhere, and your stuff should be backed up. So there you have it. Now, what does this mean for the future of digital ownership? Well, I do think one of the reasons it's shutting down, to be perfectly frank, is because people are getting away from buying things digitally. Like, why would you want to buy something digitally? That was, I mean, most people who have the digital copies, they have it because they bought a physical copy. But for the most part, people aren't going to buy that stuff. Hence why whenever I show a picture of like a new Blu-ray I buy, I always get people like asking like, hey, you're going to use that digital code? Like, yes, I'm going to use the digital code. Like, people just want free stuff. and they go to like Netflix and Hulu, that's where they're watching their stuff. They don't care about owning it anymore. They're not going to pay $20 for a disc. They're sure as heck not going to pay $20 for a digital copy. And I think eventually these services might actually go away because all the companies want to do services. They just want you to pay money every month to watch their movies. You won't actually own them at one point. And I think that's sad. And I will personally dread that future coming. But, you know, I'm going to leave it there. What do you folks think? Do you agree with me? What are you going to do with your UltraViolet account? Do you have a lot of digital movies? In fact, let's take a little head count. How many digital movies in your locker do you stand to lose if you don't sign up with Movies Anywhere? I'd love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.